guys, welcome back to Rock Fabulous 40s, and today I'm going to do a review on something that I have been so excited about, and I've had it for quite some time, but I didn't want to review it until I've actually gotten a really good feel for it. And this thing has been hyped up on YouTube like crazy, and I guess I could have reviewed it a while back, but you know, I decided I really wanted to give it a fair shake before I did. So what I'm talking about is the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. I was so freaking excited to try this palette. I couldn't stand it. I ordered it the day it was released, and I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait for it to come in. Okay, so let's talk about the packaging, and I really love this packaging. It's got really pretty like smoky design on it. It's a plastic, it's a really heavy duty plastic packaging actually. I think this would actually be pretty good to travel with. It's kind of got maybe a transparent kind of back to it where you can actually see the bottoms of the pans on the back. And it has a magnetic closure. And it has a pretty decent sized mirror, just like your other Naked palettes have. Sorry, I don't mean to blind you. Now, the Naked one, I believe that has, I don't have the Naked one palette, but that one has got kind of like a velvety or a velour feeling kind of packaging. And the Naked 2 and Naked 3 are both in a metal tin, and I really like this packaging just so much better. It's just so much easier to use, so much easier to get into. So let's open this thing up, and on the inside here, and I'm going to do it upside down so I don't blind you guys, on the inside it comes with a brush, and you get your 12 shades. Now when you first look at those shades are just absolutely gorgeous looking. Oh, by the way, it also comes with, I know I'm jumping off topic a little bit, but this actually comes with a little booklet that gives you some ideas of how to use these shadows. You know, you can use the ideas if you want to, you don't have to. Alright, so back into the palette. When you look at these colors, I mean, these colors are just absolutely gorgeous. You look at them and you see, okay, well, I've got 4 mattes, which I think my other Nakeds, my Naked 2 and Naked 3, only have 3 mattes. And I like how they have the mattes together right here. I really like that. It makes it easy, you know, to grab for those colors. Then you have 4 what they consider satins, which are these guys right here. And then you have 4 which are considered really shimmery, and one of them is actually really glittery. So I really like how they have them grouped in 4s. So you've got your 4 mattes, your 4 satins, and your 4 shimmers. So like I said, when you first look at this, it is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let me show you guys the swatches of this palette so you guys can get a better look of what the colors look like swatched out. And, you know, some of the colors are just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really absolutely gorgeous. Okay. So, let me get into now the actual product inside that really pretty case, that really pretty packaging. I told you guys I was just so absolutely ecstatic when this palette came out that, I mean, I just immediately jumped on it and got it. I had to have it. I thought the colors were just amazing. I mean, you've got, you know, some nice matte, you got a nice matte brown over here, you've got kind of a satiny dark purple, and then you go down here and you've got kind of a dark blue. But you know what? I gotta tell you guys, my excitement was short-lived. And I really hate to say that because I love my other Naked palettes. Now, I don't have Naked 1, but I do have Naked 2 and 3. And when I started wearing these shadows, I was really disappointed in a couple of different reasons. Now, granted, some of the, sorry, I have an itch. Some of the colors are beautiful. Like, for example, one of my favorites is this one right here called Bittersweet. It's one of my favorites. But these shadows kick up so much powder and cause so much fallout, it's not even funny. And all of the colors that I really thought that I was going to be the most excited about, when you put them on, they all look the same. That there's a color in here called Smolder, which is kind of a purpley shade. And then the shade over here called Dagger, and then Black Market, which is right next to each other. These 3 shades right here, when you actually put them on and blend them out, they all look exactly the same. They all just come together and become kind of I don't want to say mush, I mean, but you can't tell the difference between the colors. So, you know, that was my second disappointment. I'm wearing it today. You guys can see there. And I'm going to put a little demonstration up here, or maybe up here, of me applying the shadows and what colors I'm using. And I'm going to show you guys while I'm doing this application how bad the fallout is. And when you get the fallout, it doesn't wipe off. You can't just brush it off. It just doesn't work. I had to take a makeup wipe and literally wipe it off. I was so glad I did my makeup before I did my foundation today, because I just would have been just a huge, just big panda bear. So let me show you guys. You guys take a look.
Alright, so first I'm going to go in with Combust, which is a matte cream. I'm using that as my transition shade. And then next I'm going to go in with 13, which is a matte white, and I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bone. After I do that, I'm going to go in with High, which is a very shimmery rose gold color, and I'm going to use that to highlight my inner corner. Now once I've done that, I'm going to go in with Smolder, which is a very deep dark plum, kind of a satiny shade, and it's going to go on my lid. It's also going to go under my lower lash line. You guys are going to see all of the fallout that's happening here. Check that out. That's a lot of fallout. Alright, so that's going under the lower lash line as well. Now once Smolder is done, I'm going to take Dagger, which is kind of a grayish blue, kind of satiny shade, and I'm going to use that in the crease in the outer V of my eye. And you'll notice I'm using a guide because I really want to keep that really sharp V shape. Once I have the shadow placed where I want it, I'll go in with the blending side of my brush and I'll blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to take Dagger and put it on my lower lash line as well. Then I'm going to take Password, and I'm going to use Password, which is kind of a matte creamy brown color, and I'm going to use that to smooth out Dagger. And then last I'm taking Armor, which is a very glittery gray, and I'm putting that on the middle of the lid. And again, you guys are going to see all of the fallout. And here's the finished eye look.
Okay, so did you guys see what I mean by all the fallout I had on my cheeks? I even had fallout over here in the corners of my eyes, like on my nose. And I tried to brush it off and it just wouldn't brush off. It was almost like it just kind of sank into my skin more. So I literally had to take a makeup wipe to get it all the fallout off. Now let's get into some of the good things about the products. Actually, one of them is, I'm holding it in my hand right here, is the brush. This is actually a really nice brush. I mean, I've got the brushes from the other Naked palettes and they're okay, but this one is a really nice brush. You have a nice fluffy end over here for blending, and then you've got a nice rounded brush here, which is great for the crease and also for smudging under your lash line. I mean, it's just, I love the brush. I mean, the brush is really good. There are some colors in here that I really love, that are really creamy and that don't have a lot of fallout. For example, these matte shades here really don't have hardly any fallout at all. You have Password, Whiskey, Combust, and 13. Not much fallout to them. So, I mean, and those go on beautifully and blend just beautifully. I really like these two colors here on the end called High and Bittersweet, right here. These two are just beautiful colors. I like to use High in the inner corner, and Bittersweet's kind of a champagne shade. You could use it as a highlight, or you could use it as like a center of the lid type highlight. So, I mean, some of the colors are just beautiful. Black Market, which I assume to be a black, but it's not. It's more of a really dark gray. And it has fallout like you wouldn't believe. So, basically, all of these shades in the middle from here to here kick up so much fallout, it's not even funny. So, like I said, you know, I was so excited to get this palette. When I got it and I started playing with it, my excitement was short-lived. I had actually contemplated taking the palette back and returning it. But then I decided not to because, I mean, I do have the other Naked palettes and it can go along in my collection and I'm sure I'll find some use for it. I just have to make sure that I don't do my foundation first before I do my eyes. That's the biggest thing. So guys, overall, I mean, I really don't need this palette, and it's really not the greatest Urban Decay palette put out. It really isn't. I think the Naked 2 is much, much better than this palette. The Naked 3 is much, much better than this palette. The only thing this palette's got going for it is about 4 colors, the packaging, and the brush, honestly. So guys, I would say if you don't already have this palette, and you know, this palette runs $54, so if you don't already have it, save your money. There's better Smoky palettes out there. There's better palettes in general out there that don't kick up all the fallout, that blend easier, that you don't have to worry about cleaning your entire face up after you do your eyes. So yeah, don't spend the money on this. Save your money. Find another palette. There's plenty of them out there. So guys, I hope this review was helpful, and if you thought it was, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Also hit subscribe down there somewhere, and you too can rock your fabulous 40s. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.